What's up, Daily Beat? This is Ryan Touhill here. We are at Soundgarden Hall tonight interviewing MAKJ Johnson, also known as MAKJ.
Nice to meet you guys.
And you've had a very interesting history. You know, you came from racing Formula One cars over in the Far East, and now you're a DJ producer. Yeah. What would you say is a bigger rush for you? Do you think racing those cars? Do you think playing in front of thousands?
You know what? It's completely opposite, because when you're racing cars, you're really kind of doing it for yourself in a sense of you're racing with other people and you're not really focused on the crowd. But when you're DJing, it's so crowd influential. You know, you're always looking at the crowd, you're always interacting with the crowd. So definitely it's not the same feeling, but I gotta say, playing in Mexico in front of 25,000 people, that was like, you go up there and you could play two different songs and the reactions from two different songs just throws everyone off. You know, it's like you could fart into the mic and people would go apeshit. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things that it's just a different feeling that you get, you know? But I gotta say, it was just DJing is, I would say, is the leg up on that one.
You can definitely like relate to the people, like even though there's so many of them, you can really get on like a one-on-one kind of aspect with everybody there.
When I always DJ, I come from a very, you know, hip-hop background, right. And I come from doing clubs and really reading crowds. So the first thing I do is if the crowd isn't really feeling the night and it's more of a bottle service crowd and people are just there to just, you know, get in their little groups and their booths and just kind of have that clique group, I focus on the front row people. And if they're having a good time, I know everyone in the back's having a good time. And if that doesn't work, I focus on the security guards. And if the security guards are nodding their head, because they're sober, right. You know, and if they're nodding their head and they're looking back at the DJ at some drops, you're doing a good job, because, you know, those guys sit there 7 days a week. Exactly. They listen to the same shit over and over again. So if you see them doing this, you know.
You have a very, very awesome upbringing, very respectful upbringing in terms of DJing. What would you say is the biggest thing you pulled from, you know, having DJ AM as like your mentor almost?
Almost kind of like a fatherly figure. I mean, he really kind of guided the path for me in more of the LA scene. And if I don't know if you've heard this, it's just, if you make it in LA, you can make it anywhere, because it's such a shady industry. You know, because there's so many people doing it, you know, and there's so many people that you have to, you know, there are a bunch of obstacles, a bunch of speed bumps. He always said, look out for this guy in Vegas. His name is Jesse Waits. And lo and behold, last year I met Jesse Waits, and he's the one that got me my XS residency, you know, so.
That's great, good for you.
It was one of those kind of aha moments where AM was like, okay, if you want to make it, go to this guy.
So everything kind of started to click.
It started to click,
That's
you know.
Great. That actually kind of leads into our next question. When you kind of broke into the electronic world, how was that entire journey over the past couple of months? Like, you know, going from being, you know, MAKJ to being the name that everybody's kind of been hearing lately.
You know what? It's more of kind of like a organic journey. You know what I mean? Like I've been DJing for like 8-9 years now, right. You know, and I've seen it all. I've seen every club, I've seen everybody, I've seen every drunk girl, I've seen, you know, I've seen everything. And finally being able to produce the music that you play in the clubs and having people react to your music, like tonight, I'm gonna drop a couple of my original tracks, a couple of unreleased stuff, and it's just,
yes, and so excited.
And just seeing the reactions of the kids, it just makes you feel like sitting in the studio for 10-15 hours at a time it pays off. I just think I felt like I've been grinding for the past year in production. I mean, I have 7 unreleased tracks right now that are just getting signed. So every single month for the next 7 months, I have an original or a remix coming out. You know, and in between each remix or original production, I always give out free stuff. And it's more so just to keep my fans happy and keep them engaged, you know, keeping the social media high. And it's a science, man. I mean, everyone can do it. It's just really grinding and doing it.
Keep your nose to the grindstone. Exactly. I remember when you just recently put out that the bootleg pack for hitting 50,000 likes. That's really cool. And I actually heard a rumor mill somewhere that you actually kind of just knocked those all together really quick, just because you really just wanted to get music out for free and just little edits here and there.
And everyone played my stuff at Electric Zoo, and I was just like, okay, well, the buzz is really high right now because Hardwell debuted my track Revolution. That's going to be released on.
Song's great, by the way. Check it out if you haven't.
Thanks. It's going to be released on Dorn on the 23rd of September, and he played it, and he added the Corella Live for the Night vocal over it.
Oh, that's great.
Which is cool. It's very handy. I think I'm going to play that tonight. But he kind of set the buzz for me. Like, okay, well, all the kids that were at Electric Zoo, they're looking through the track listing, and they saw MAKJ and this one kid named M35 that I did a track with, and they looked me up, and they're like, okay, well, where's that track, you know? And just to keep them engaged, I'm like, okay, here's a bunch of free shit. Stay on my fan page. It's hard because it's like people want the song. I mean, the Hardwell collab, we did the song over 1.5 years ago. You know what I mean? Now it's finally coming out. you know? So it's really keeping that buzz. It's the fake buzz. And being able to achieve that and just having social media high, and every single day I see over 1,000 new fans liking my page, it's unreal. I always give this analogy out. You ever go to a basketball game and there's a dude with a cannon and he's shooting free t-shirts out to the crowd. Right. No one knows what fucking size they are, they don't know what color it is. They just want stuff. They want free shit. Yeah. People need to be engaged. They want to see what you're doing in your life or your daily life, like Twitter or something. They also want free shit. Right.
Not just like release to release, like the stuff that goes on in between.
I mean, there's so many people that go, okay, I'll do one release, it'll be a top 10. Then I'll do a remix 2 months later. Then I'll do another release 3 months later. It doesn't work like that. Everyone asks me, well, how can I make it in this industry? Make good music and give away free shit. Simple as that.
When you're playing a show, and I guess it depends on the show that you're playing, do you think it makes more sense for you, I guess, as a DJ to educate your listeners or to entertain your listeners?
It's a good question. It's really both, you know, because when I go to each crowd, I don't have a pre-recorded set. I don't have a playlist where I know which I'm gonna play. Like, I have stuff that says MAKJ on it because I always forget to play my shit. My manager hates me for it because I always will be playing it to a crowd and be like, fuck, I forgot to play that track, fuck. I'll go to a place and I'll read the crowd. And I feel like 90% of DJs now just can't do that. They go there, they play their own stuff, and they play for themselves. You don't play for yourself, you play for the people coming to see you.
I'm really glad that you said that because I think that is one of the leading controversies right now is when the whole thing about pre-recorded sets came up and all that.
Dude, it's horrible now. I mean, I don't want to mention any names, but people don't produce now. It's fucking crazy. It's ghost productions all day. People don't even DJ. It's like, so you're playing something that someone else made for you. You're saying it's your track, doing this, and people are like, oh, it's your track, but deep down you know it's not my track. But then you're not even playing it live.
It becomes more like an image thing as opposed to the music.
It's right? Like, that is what is going to ruin the industry. 100% that's what's going to ruin the industry.
When it comes to DJing, a lot of the times you'll see a crowd kind of shuffling along, and then when the drop happens, they're like, oh my God, and it's like really unexpected, whatever. But obviously, like you said before, it's about keeping them engaged in a way that like they're not expecting. Exactly. What is like your favorite way to pull like an oh shit moment on your crowd?
I always put throwbacks to my set. Some of the shit that you go, whoa, I used to listen to this with my dad on the boat, you know?
I remember when you did California Energizer and all that stuff. It was great stuff. I love those little edits that you do.
It's all the edits that I do and I put out, I always do live. When I test them out live, I'll have like the California, the Tupac track, and then it'll go into Joy Energizer. But I used to do that live. You know, I'll be like, okay, well, fuck it, I'll just make an edit of it and just put it out for free. You know what I mean? Because I played it already 5,000 times, might as well just give it away for free. But I always put throwbacks in my set because, like I said, it goes back to the security guards. Majority of the time, the security guards don't want to hear fucking doom, doom, doom the whole entire time.
They want to groove a little bit.
They want to groove. They want to be not, you know, bopping their heads. So putting something in that you are already familiar with and then kind of throwing the 2013 twist on it. I'm also really quick. Like, a majority of these DJs, you know, they play 20, 30 songs in their 2-hour sets. I'll play 150 to 200 songs. It's real quick. It's like A-Track, you know, A-Track, it's Diplo. Like, I have such a good, high respect over Diplo because I saw him for the first time a couple weeks ago at XS. And he has a very similar style as me. It's very hip-hoppy, you know, it's very quick. He engages the crowd. He's always doing stuff live. He's always looking for new music. Like, that is what I love to see.
You're coming up with the Tomorrow World main stage coming up very soon down in Georgia. How excited are you just because, you know, that is your, you know, one of the first huge in front of so many people? Like, what is that feeling? You
know what, it hasn't even hit me. I think it's gonna hit me when I'm flying out there and I see just like the stage, because I've never been to Tomorrowland. And it freaks me out too because I always ask Rob Hardwell and I'm like, dude, what else could you do? What else, you know, you've done everything. What else? You know what I mean? And he's like,
you create the go Hardwell or go home tour.
Yeah. And he told me, he's like, you will have such a different respect on the EDM crowd when you go play at Tomorrowland. You know what I mean? Because everyone there is just a fucking rage. Everyone's singing to this song. If, say, a fuck up happens with, you know, technical difficulties, like audio comes out, people will start singing the song for you.
That's beautiful.
That's his next level, you know? So
that's what gives you kind of like faith in like the future of electronic music.
It does, but also it doesn't, because majority of the time, it was driving back from EDC, and it was me, my manager, Diplo, and I think his tour manager, and we're sitting in the bus, and it was just some random bus that we took back from, it was like at 4:30 in the morning, and these girls were looking through pictures on their camera. And my manager, Jaso, was like, hey, so who's your favorite DJ set tonight? No one knew Diplo was like sitting right next to me, and like he wasn't, whatever. And the girl's like, oh, I don't know. I just went here because my friends, I don't know anything about EDM music. So I really feel like nowadays it's just the cool thing to do. Go to these festivals, fucking get really, really fucked up on drugs, and then that's a weekend for you. You know what I mean? And I feel like, I mean, after this past weekend at Electric Zoo, it's gonna hit really hard if that keeps happening. It's hit or miss, you know? That's why I feel like when you go overseas, Tomorrowland, it's just a different experience. It's just more professional and it's not so just tacky.
In your opinion, what do you think would be the way to like save and like preserve like, you know, the true genuine quality of like electronic music, you know, for what the reason that you do it for, like for the music and for the fans and the people, not just the, you know, the weekend thing to do?
I really feel like a producer needs to be able to produce everything, not just the hard, crazy banger shit. I don't know if you focused on my release schedule. I had the Hakaka on Diffuse, which is Michael Wood's label. Michael really doesn't release too much stuff, and his stuff that he releases is very like tech house, deep house, like Michael Woods type shit, some 4 AM, you're fucked up type shit. I came out with Springen before that on Hysteria, and I couldn't top Springen after that. Like I couldn't top a top 10, you know? So for me to come out with something that is better than Springen, I would want that the next month, but I also wanted something to show people that I can produce something else besides the big kick banger shit.
Diversify your genres.
Exactly. So I really feel like being able to produce multiple genres is the way to do it. Because if you ever listen to Skrillex's stuff, he can produce anything. You know, and that's why he's so successful, because he found out that he can put pop into dubstep. You know what I mean? And that's how he's so big. So I really feel like producers need to definitely be versatile, and that's will help the industry grow a lot, because people will be more educated with house music, you know, because now everyone's like, when Disclosure came out, I was like, oh, deep house, oh, I started listening to this 2 months ago, but I'm a pro now. But Disclosure's been around for like 10, 15 years. People just need to get more educated, and once they're educated enough, then you'll start seeing different parties start popping up, like some real good parties, you know what I mean? And people that go to the shows just for the music, not to get fucked up.
All right, well, thanks so much for coming in and talking to us. We really appreciate your time and all your insight. Definitely very cool to have a respectable producer and DJ coming in. I'm Ryan Touhill again, talking to Daily Beat, and this is MAKJ.
Hey, this is MAKJ, and that was just on Daily Beat.